government is about to release documents relating to Peter Mandelson's appointment as ambassador. MPs ordered the release, but only the documents cleared for publication by the police, who are investigating Lord Mandelson, will be seen today. Also this lunchtime, the latest on the war in Iran as the conflict escalates at sea. The new advice on skinny jabs, why experts are telling people to get their eyes tested before getting injected. And Paralympic GB's first medalist says it was an absolute delight to take home a silver medal.
This is the ITV Lunchtime News with Nina Hossain.
Good afternoon. The government is about to release hundreds of documents relating to the appointment of Peter Mandelson as ambassador to the United States. The process by which Lord Mandelson was selected for the role has come under scrutiny since revelations about his close friendship with the convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein came to light. The Prime Minister has insisted Lord Mandelson lied repeatedly to Number 10 about his relationship with Epstein before and during his tenure as ambassador. Rhys Williams is at Westminster this lunchtime. Rhys, do we have any idea what will be in these files?
Well, these will be the first documents to be released, and we've been told this morning to expect them to detail elements of the appointment process, including the vetting process before Peter Mandelson took up his role as US ambassador, as well as his subsequent dismissal. Now, as you said there, the Prime Minister has always insisted that Mandelson lied repeatedly about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein before and during his time as US ambassador. Mandelson was arrested last month in suspicion of misconduct in public office, having been accused of passing sensitive information onto Epstein during his time as business secretary under Gordon Brown. Now, the government was forced to release these files by MPs last month, but the Chief Secretary to the Prime Minister told me earlier the government wants to be open about what was known.
The Prime Minister has been very clear that he regrets appointing Peter Mandelson as ambassador to the United States, and he's apologised for it. I think the transparency process is important, not just for Parliament and the Westminster bubble, but for the public, to see what the Prime Minister knew and didn't know at the point of appointing Peter Mandelson, as more documents will come in the future.
Now, initially we expected those documents to come shortly after PMQs around lunchtime, but now we think they will come later in the afternoon.
Rhys, on the war in the Middle East, we've heard that a protest planned for this weekend has been banned by the Home Office. What more can you tell us?
That's right. The Al-Quds March is an annual event which organisers say is a pro-Palestinian event, but those organisers have expressed admiration for the Iranian regime, as well as the late Ayatollah, saying he was a rare role model who stood on the right side of history. And the march is due to take place on Sunday, but Shabana Mahmood, the Home Secretary, has approved a rare request from the Metropolitan Police to ban it, saying this was necessary to prevent serious public disorder. The organisers say this is an infringement on their free speech, but the police and the government say this was necessary to protect the public.
Rhys Williams, thank you. A cargo vessel is on fire in the Strait of Hormuz after being hit by an unknown projectile, according to the UK Maritime Trade Operations. The key international shipping channel in the Middle East has been at the centre of the conflict for the last 24 hours. Overnight, US Central Command said it had eliminated targets in the strait and released footage of what it says are several Iranian naval vessels being destroyed. Sabah Chowdhury reports.
12 days in, and this was the Strait of Hormuz last night. The US boasted it eliminated 16 Iranian mine-laying boats after warnings from President Trump, and so far are showing no signs of stopping.
Ultimately, the operations will end when the Commander-in-Chief determines the military objectives have been met, fully realized, and that Iran is in a position of complete and unconditional surrender, whether they say it or not.
Meanwhile, in the Strait, this photo appears to show a cargo vessel being hit. So far, 3 have been struck, and it's unclear who launched the projectiles, although Iran previously threatened to strike any vessel passing through. Further strain for the world's busiest shipping lane for oil. In Iran, the US has been intensifying its strikes. Just yesterday in Tehran, 6 people were killed. And by the capital's airport, reports of more explosions. A gross attack on Iranian sovereignty, according to the country's leadership.
I think the United States really must be held accountable for breaching international peace and security, for exercising bullying in such a very devastating manner.
Retaliating, Iran last night struck the Israeli port city of Haifa, while Israel extended its airstrikes to southern Lebanon, attacking residential apartments in the capital city of Beirut. And with tensions rising, Britain is reinforcing its presence, with the HMS Dragon leaving Portsmouth for Cyprus. For now, it's a defensive move, but it reflects growing concern that this conflict could widen far beyond Iran, Israel, and the United States. Saba Chowdhury, ITV News.
And there's continuing coverage of the conflict in the Middle East on our website, itvnews.com/news, on ITVX and on the ITV News YouTube channel. A police officer accused of failing to arrest the Nottingham attacker for a previous assault a month earlier has apologised for mistakes she made. Valdo Calacane murdered 2 students and a school caretaker in June 2023, despite an outstanding warrant for his arrest. Our Midlands correspondent Ben Chapman is at the public inquiry into the attacks. Ben, what's been said?
Well, this morning the inquiry's been dealing with what the families of the victims believe was a really crucial missed chance to stop Valdo Calacane before he went on to kill students Barnaby Webber and Grace O'Malley Kumar and school caretaker Ian Coates. 3 others were seriously injured in his attacks. There was an outstanding warrant for Valdo Calacane at the time in connection with a previous attack on a police officer. Then, just a month before his rampage in Nottingham, he assaulted 2 co-workers at a warehouse in Leicestershire. And today, the inquiry heard from a probationary police officer who investigated that incident. She admitted today that she didn't obtain CCTV, didn't interview the victims, didn't save her body-worn camera footage, or try contacting Calacane after the assault. And crucially, when she checked the police system for him, she failed to spot that outstanding warrant, which would have made arresting him a priority. And she apologised today for what she admitted was a really basic error.
It was a simple task that should have been done, and it wasn't, and it was a mistake. But for me now, it is standard practice that happened. I made mistakes. I think that when we've all admitted, accepted that we made these mistakes, and unfortunately, it's really difficult. And I can only apologise for making those mistakes and the role that I've played in it.
Well, she also said this morning that she and her colleagues always have a massive workload of cases. A lawyer representing Leicestershire Police has previously told the inquiry that the force apologises for the shortcomings of its officers. But the victims' families believe that this was just one of a series of unforgivable errors in the run-up to the attacks. This one at a really critical moment, just weeks before that deadly rampage in Nottingham.
Ben Chapman, thank you very much. Thank you. A boy has been arrested after a teenage girl was stabbed at school, Norfolk police said. Officers were called to Laundry Lane at 10:24 this morning. The victim was taken to hospital with what's thought to be minor injuries. A 16-year-old boy has been arrested on suspicion of causing grievous bodily harm with intent. He has been taken for questioning. Some low-level train services have resumed from Glasgow Central Station after a fire devastated a next-door building. Network Rail say the main part of the station will be shut for the rest of the week because of stability concerns over the damaged building. And a new poll has found that half of emergency care doctors feel their department is unsafe for patients, MPs have heard. Data collected in a poll of emergency clinical leaders from 80 of England's emergency departments found 51% said their emergency department felt fairly or very unsafe, with 9 in 10 saying overcrowding was a daily occurrence. People with a rare eye condition that causes sudden and frightening sight loss have told ITV News they believe it was caused by weight loss jabs. It's prompted experts to urge people to get their eyes checked before taking the medication. Rosie Dowsing is here to tell us more. Rosie, how common is this problem?
I should start by saying, Nina, it's incredibly rare, but it can be very serious indeed. Nigh on is like an eye stroke. People wake up to sudden vision loss, sometimes in one eye, sometimes in both eyes. It's caused by pressure on the optic nerve. And just last month, the UK regulator, the MHRA, added a safety warning that semaglutide, which is in Ozempic and Wegovy, could be rarely associated with this sudden vision loss. It could affect up to 1 in 10,000 people, so very rare, but the risk doubles if the person taking the weight loss jabs are also a diabetic, for example. One man in Harrogate who lost all his peripheral vision with 2 nigh-on attacks described the impact that had on him. He believes it happened because he was taking Ozempic for diabetes.
Loss of mobility, loss of freedom, having to depend on others. I just feel so frustrated that I can't drive anymore.
Those on semaglutide for weight loss do seem to be at an even higher risk as well. A study published today suggested that those on Wegovy, which is semaglutide for weight loss, are 5 times more likely to develop this eye condition. One man told us anonymously he took the drugs because he wanted to lose weight, not his sight.
In hindsight, I regret it because, of course, it's left me with this minor loss of vision in one eye. I certainly lost the craving for chocolate and alcohol whilst I was on it, so there were some other good side effects. I do want people to be aware of the risk and to be able to mitigate for those risks.
And Nina, there is a way to mitigate for that risk. That man we've just heard from there, it turns out, had a crowded optic nerve. He's been told by doctors if he'd have had that checked before taking the weight loss medication, then that would have been a red flag telling him not to take the weight loss medication. So the advice is to get your eyes checked first before taking these weight loss drugs. The company, Novo Nordisk, who make Ozempic and Wegovy, told us they've updated patient product information to list this as a very rare adverse side effect. They do suggest that the benefits of the weight loss drug outweigh this very rare risk, but of course people have told us they just wish they'd known about it first.
Rosie Dowsing, thank you very much. Thank you. Actor Warwick Davis has been honoured with an OBE by the Prince of Wales at Windsor Castle. The 56-year-old was listed in the New Year's honours for his services to drama and charity. He founded the charity Little People UK with his late wife Samantha in 2012 to support people with dwarfism. Historical figures will be replaced by images of the UK's wildlife in the next series of banknotes. After more than 50 years of displaying people from Britain's history, this summer the public will be given the chance to vote on what wildlife should be showcased. And could it be you? A UK player has scooped a life-changing £181 million in the Euro Millions draw, the 3rd biggest UK lottery winner of all time. Those who bought a ticket are advised to check carefully now. The lucky player matched all the category and star numbers. Friday's jackpot now sits at roughly £14 million. And finally, Paralympic GP's first medalist says it is an absolute delight to have secured a silver medal. Neil Simpson placed second in the men's alpine combined with his guide Rob Parfitt. Means Simpson now owns the whole Paralympic medal trifecta after winning a gold and bronze in Beijing in 2022. Yesterday's success will give the pair extra motivation ahead of their 2 remaining events this weekend in the slalom.
It means a lot. We've been working really hard over over all the seasons that we've been working together. We're in a good position to try and push on from after the first run. And yeah, as I said, I think we carried out the plan we had for the second run really well. And yeah, absolutely delighted to get the silver medal.
That's it for now. Mary's here at 6:30. Bye-bye.